Hill when it comes to social media. All right. This is important stuff. How much power do these big tech companies have with social media? Look, we just talked about human trafficking on this program earlier today and what a problem it is and how it's powered by social media and AI and bots giving kids advice to commit suicide. So much going on here that is dangerous to all of us. Look, social media can be a great thing. High tech can be a great thing, but it can also be very dangerous. Joining me now, Congressman Jimmy Patronis. He represents Florida's 1st Congressional District. Congressman, thank you for being here today.
Steve, thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. All right, we hear about Section 230 a lot, something that Donald Trump wanted to correct during his first term in office. Now he's back. And you say, quite simply, big tech accountability cannot wait. What is this Section 230? We hear about it, but please explain to the people why it's so important.
Sure. So Section 230 was created years ago as an order to give some liability protections to allow internet companies to get their footing. As we saw the need for internet, those predecessors to me in Congress gave this protection so these guys could grow this fantastic, ability to communicate infrastructure, you name it. But here now where it's been exploited. So currently right now, I can't buy an ad on your show or any network or even a billboard for that matter to say inflict harm. Okay. But I can go on social media and place an ad advocating for harm, potentially maybe even touching more people than I can on a billboard. And the social media companies have zero liability. So, where I'm sick and tired of, I'm a dad of 2 boys, is just seeing the type of harm that's being done. The apps are made sticky on purpose. We're getting testimony from constituents of our district where these moms are saying their devices are chatbots, these AI chatbots, are doing sextortion with kids. So, I mean, the bad guys are going to use social media to do bad things. And unfortunately, social media companies and big tech are enabling it. This is why Section 230 needs to go.
They kick and scream and say, well, you can't do that. It's going to hurt us, and we can't police everything. Well, look, during COVID, they were able to police lots of folks. They silenced, they deplatformed, they put people out. If they didn't like your message, man, you were gone like that, and you know that. So for them to say now, well, we can't do this, that's just not credible, is it?
That's 100% accurate. Like I said, every parent who's got a child with a device knows the fights and struggles. I won't let my kids have TikTok. Look, TikTok is the greatest espionage tool in the history of the world. And so, I mean, if you want China in your living room every single night, monitoring your Alexa Dot, your smart TV, your coffee pot, you want it monitoring what's going on in your computers, go ahead and invite TikTok into your house. Again, it's made sticky on purpose. And the social media companies come and roll out these feel-good ideas. But right now, on an Apple phone, it's impossible to ban any social media app simply because it's a relationship of money between the device manufacturer and the social media company. So I mean, it's Apple and Android are just as bad, but it boils down to the social media companies and the content providers and how they're weaponizing it to hurt our kids.
Yeah, it's remarkable how much power these companies have, and you use the term sticky apps. That's the way they continue to doom scroll to the next video, to the next post, to the next everything. And TikTok, you're exactly right, powered by the Chinese Communist Party for years. I thought it had been sold. Jimmy, what happened?
So you got, I guess there's investors involved, but look, I'm not in privy to some of those conversations, but I have had the briefings of talking of the sophistication of how TikTok is able to get access to your devices. And sometimes, if you have TikTok, one thing I would encourage you to do is do not let it on your home Wi-Fi. That's probably the first bad thing. You're giving it the keys to your interior of your home and all the devices that exist in it.
Yeah, they sold us on smart this and smart that. Everything's interconnected. Yeah. Well, as far as I know, my toaster's now spying on me. Yeah, I don't need that. Look, I don't need that kind of pressure, Congressman. I got enough going on,
Sometimes it kind of makes me wish I just had a flip phone and a rotary dial landline at the house.
Amen to that.
Can I just have 13 channels on my TV? So anyway, but it boils down to the kids. When you get past 18, you know what? You're an adult. You can do what you want to do. And I try not to dwell on it. But I tell people this stuff is a digital fentanyl. It is a drug, one way or another, by hook or crook. Chinese is going to infiltrate us at all different levels. And, hats off to them for figuring out the way to be able to do it and undermine so many different levels of our human development, starting with our kids.
Let me take that a step further. From rumblings I've been hearing from inside the Beltway there, that China used a lot of this high-tech ability that it has because they focus on these things. They have focus groups in Beijing or wherever in China designing messages for kids, but for adults as well, and their ability to interfere in American elections. Look, it was never Russia. It was always China, and it still is. So how do we protect ourselves?
So you literally, I've seen videos firsthand of where they'll have a room, and it's nothing but a room full of hundreds and hundreds of cell phones, and those cell phones are doing mass text out services. It is what it is. This is how they're getting into your phone, and the text has now become such a powerful way to connect with someone. If you wanted to send me a green bubble text on my phone, I've got it turned off. I don't want those things coming in. I think they're dangerous, but China realizes that, even through a random digit dialing format, they can get into this. I was recently meeting with leaders of India and Thailand, and they're both fed up with the infiltration that's happening with their seniors being scammed on their devices. Now, this is a degree of separation from what our conversation started, but this is no different. By hook or crook, they're going to find ways to criminally take advantage of either the elderly or the young. And we're sitting there allowing it to happen. And I think Section 230 is this wall that they hide behind that ultimately allows our kids to be taken advantage of,
Agreed.
victimized, and even poisoned.
Yeah, from 9 to 90 and all points in between, basically. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. We got about a minute left here. Do you have bipartisan support? Can this get done? Can this get through? Can we protect the kids and the elderly and everyone else? Last word to you.
Yeah, so I'm working it. The bills of this nature. Look, we've got a one-seat majority in Congress, and I tell people all the time. I did some time in the state legislature. A good idea doesn't necessarily pass overnight. You got to go out and sell it. You got to convince your colleagues that this is important. Being able to have this time on the air with you is invaluable because there will be folks that will respond and reach out to their member of Congress simply because of our conversation today.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to have your interest as we try to save our kids.
Yeah, Jimmy Patronis, Congressman, Florida 1. Keep doing the good work, Congressman. This is important. It's a heavy lift. We get that, but it is really important. Thank you for sharing today.
Take care, Steve. See you.
Really appreciate it. There you have it. Jimmy Patronis from